Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's April 26th, 2017. If I do this right, this could be the most important video I've made to date. This morning, thanks to Michael, who calls into my radio show every Wednesday, I was able to connect a dot I've been missing since 2013. This morning, I've been working on my book, putting this information into it. This is a mind-blowing connection that truly exposes the agenda in motion in this nation that needs to be stopped. A lot of people are talking about Operation Gotham Shield in New York City right now. We're going to get to that at the end of this video. Today is April 26, 2017, Melania Trump's 47th birthday, the First Lady to President Trump, who once said, "I am Batman," and then the next day there were 3 deaths, 2 related to former Batman characters, and 1 related to a charity worker in Maryland who dresses up as Batman and travels to children's hospitals. They said while he was driving his imitation Batmobile, he was killed in a car accident. And that was literally the day after news headlines of Donald Trump saying, "I am Batman." Here's where we're going, Truth Seeker. In 2013, on this blog that you're looking at, you can go back to my earliest posts, I was asking, what is the riddle here with the Batman film The Dark Knight Rises releasing July 20th, 2012, and there being a theater shooting in Aurora, Colorado, and then 147 days later, there being a school shooting of first graders by Adam Lanza in the town of Newtown at Sandy Hook Elementary. The reason I knew there was a relationship between these events is because in the Dark Knight Rises film, when it shows the Gotham City skyline, you see a big bright sign that says Aurora in orange that had never been in the Gotham skyline before. That was new. And then lo and behold, an Aurora Theater shooting the night of the premiere of the movie, they said the people who were killed were watching the new Batman film. Then, the Sandy Hook riddle was this. There was a toy map put out with the latest Batman film. And it was a map of Gotham City, a map that's existed since the early comic book days of Batman. And on that map, there's always been a neighborhood called South Hinckley. But for the toy map put out with the film, they changed the name of South Hinckley to Sandy Hook. And remember, there was Hurricane Sandy around this same time? Anyhow, Aurora and Sandy Hook have a lot in common, which we're going to get to. You might remember the story of Steve B. I forget what his last name was. Steve Barthman. We'll get to what his name was. But he got to meet the President of the United States, Barack Obama, after surviving the supposed shooting in Aurora, Colorado at the theater. And then after the Newtown shooting, they said that he lived in Newtown, Connecticut. And it was like, what? The guy who was shot at the Aurora Theater lives in Newtown? So we're going to get to all of this, and we're going to see exactly what's going on here. As I've been explaining all this time, the town of Newtown, Connecticut is just down the street from Yale and Skull and Bones, the secret society that identifies by the number 322. In the film The Dark Knight Rises, just before the football stadium explodes, they put the number 322 right on the screen. If you're not following yet, stay tuned. We're going to go through this piece by piece. But first, what I got to do is show you a quick clip from the 33rd Batman TV series episode of all time. This is season 1. Season 1 had 34 episodes. The second to last was number 33. We'll talk about the title of this episode. But here, they talk about how, the man behind Batman was the person who established Skull and Bones at Yale. Listen carefully. If this isn't loud enough, I'll link this clip down in the description. Here it is right here.
That is Bruce Wayne's grandfather, Mrs. Cooper?
His great-grandfather.
I understand he was tapped for Skull and Bones.
Tapped for it? Sir, he founded Skull and Bones.
So did you hear that? Bruce Wayne's great-grandfather. They're showing him up there with the Yale sweatshirt. And this guy thought that he was in Skull and Bones, and she says, tapped for Skull and Bones. Oh no, he founded Skull and Bones. If you followed me from the beginning, I've talked about Batman and the New World Order and the powers that shouldn't be, and how they use this Batman series to clue us in to how they see themselves. You know, this secret gang out for justice in their own perspective, rich people in high places. Batman is a story trying to clue us in to how they see themselves. And let's just get into this. This is just, it's too good, Truth Seeker. So again, Skull and Bones identifies by 322. We'll talk about what this number means. Here's the shot from The Dark Knight Rises. If you've never seen the film, they got the real Steelers players. You can see this guy wearing the yellow and black. A lot of Steelers players on the field when the stadium explodes. 322, showing just before the explosion. Now, Skull and Bones, which identifies by 322, their logo is a skull with crossbones. And if you write out skull and crossbones, it sums to 223, the reflection. Law of reversals. Numbers are the same forwards as they are backwards. So 223, 322, one and the same. Masonic has the gematria of 223. Remember in Revelation, the final book of the Bible, there's a letter written to the Church of Philadelphia, the name of the original capital of this nation, and it warns about the synagogue of Satan, the false Jews who will rule in the end times. Now ask yourself, who controls media? Who's been making the TV shows, the movies? We all know Zionist Jews in Hollywood. They also control money, and money controls pretty much everything in this world, including government. So, 322, 223, skull and crossbones, Masonic. This letter to the Church of Philadelphia is about the synagogue of Satan. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet. The synagogue of Satan, 223, just like Philadelphia. Special number. Masonic motto, measure twice, cut once, 223. I'm going to link this whole post down below. Right here, a lot of information on the Bible, 322, 223. You know, you got Genesis 322 about knowing good and evil. In that verse in Gematria, it's coded in 322. And so much more. The original publishing date of the Bible said to be March 22nd, 22/3 or 3/22. Here in 2017, they reopened the Tomb of Jesus on March 22nd. Very special numbers here, and we're going to talk more about them. So this 33rd episode where this happens, it's called Fine Finny Fiends, and it debuted May 4th, 1966. The villain in this episode is the Penguin. Some other episodes, it's a different villain. But look, with regards to it being the 33rd episode and having this tribute to Skull and Bones, alumni of Skull and Bones are called Bonesmen. Bonesmen has gematria of 33, just like Masonry, just like secrecy. Skull and Bones is a Masonic order. George W. Bush, the last Skull and Bones president we had. He was the 43rd president. Yale equals 43. He was also born July 6th, 1946, a date with a birth numerology of 33. The word skull alone has gematria of 33. Skull and Bones, Bonesman, 33, number of Masonic obsession. They say Prescott Bush, the grandfather of George W. Bush, stole Geronimo's skull. Read about it. You know, the Bush family, there's been articles written about it, that it's known that they stole that skull for Skull and Bones. When you write out 33, it also sums to 66. Again, this 33rd episode was season 1 in the year 66. The date that it premiered, May 4th, that is the 124th day of the year. Think about Batman and the Joker. The Joker, 124. We're going to talk about Red Silver J, who made it big with Sandy Hook in light of these Batman connections and his favorite word, Joker, if I can remember at the end. I'm still waiting for Red Silver J to call into my show since he's been dissing gematria. But anyway, the Joker equals 124. I've been explaining for years the powers that shouldn't be. These people are jokers. They're Riddlers, just like the characters of the Batman series, leaving all these clues, all these breadcrumbs for their wrongful propaganda, thinking the goy masses won't be able to figure it out. So anyway, the 33rd episode on the 124th day of the year, this very special episode. The Joker also has Gematria 43, just like Yale, just like George W. Bush was the 43rd president. His father was the 41st president. Skull and Bones equals 41. His father was also the 43rd vice president to Reagan. Reagan's death has a lot to do with 666. So does his wife's. Check out my videos on their deaths. Jeb Bush was also the 43rd governor of Florida. But look at this. Batman in Gematria sums to 666. And the name of this episode was Fine Finny Fiends. F, F, F. F is the sixth letter. 666. Batman. Real quick, I should show you this real quick. If you write out 33 using the alphabetic order, which is English ordinal, it sums to 156. If you write out 666, it sums to 156. If you write out number of a man, wait a minute. The number of a man. That's how it's phrased in Revelation 13:18. The number of a man is 666. The number of a man, the same as 666, the same as 33. Again, this is episode 33. We just talked about this with the NASA record mission, 666 days, with the astronaut name that's 156. The astronaut name, by the way, is Peggy Whiteson, 156, who's spending 666 days. And if you just look at Peggy alone, it's 33. We know NASA loves their 33. NASA's full name in Gematria, when written out, not the acronym, but the full name, sums to 666. Check out my video. So anyway, establishing the 666 connection, the number of the beast, Batman 666. Think about Gotham City. It's really New York. New York 666. Think about Batman secrecy 666. We're going to talk more about this. So anyhow, 666, it's made infamous in Revelation of the Bible, the 66th book, Revelation 13:18. There is an agenda in place, a Masonic agenda of divide and conquer for control and for profit. And this agenda, it's routinely about staging, scenes of tragedy and blaming it on a boogeyman so that wars can be started or rights and liberties can be taken. And oftentimes there's a very religious component, blaming it on Islam or blaming it on whatever. All throughout history, religions have fought. The three primary religions are the Abrahamic religions, Skull and Bones, excuse me. The three primary religions are not Skull and Bones. Christianity, Islam, Judaism. To secret societies, important knowledge are from the ancient mystery religions, which predate Christianity. Ancient mystery religions equal 322, just like the Abrahamic religions. And remember, the Rosicrucians in the early 1600s, King James, Francis Bacon, they were about mixing Christianity with the old world esoteric knowledge, the ancient mystery religions. And look, we have our first printed Bibles on March 22nd. We have them reopening the tomb of Jesus on March 22nd. They renovated Jesus' tomb for millions of dollars. Do you think if Jesus were alive, he would want millions of dollars spent on his tomb? And was it even really Jesus' tomb, In a world where people are starving and in need? It's all ritual and it's all by the numbers. And real quick, Skull and Bones 322, let's never forget that in 2004, John Kerry and George W. Bush were running for president, and they were both members of Skull and Bones, the secret society that allows 15 new members per year. Let's watch this clip. Tim Russert from Meet the Press asking both men about 322. Check this out.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society. It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
wild.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the rest.
Number
of it.
322?
First of all, he's not the nominee. And, look, I look for...
Are you prepared to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose.
You both remember...
Do you know why he knew he wasn't going to lose? Because it's all scripted, and it's all a big theater show. Now watch him ask John Kerry, who ran to lose against him.
Of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job, and I intend to do it.
And we'll be watching. Be safe on the campaign trail. John Kerry, thanks for joining us. And we'll be right back.
Tim Russert would end up dying at 2:23 while on vacation with his son. Right here, you can click and read about that. All this information, just come read this blog post, take the time to go through it. The reporting on Tim Russert's death, 2:23 p.m. He died at age 58. We're going to be talking about 58. George W. Bush in Gematria equals 58. You know, Tim Russert might have asked the wrong question. Maybe he wasn't supposed to ask about that. But they said he died at 2:23. Isn't that something? Asking about 322. 2:23 p.m., age 58. Just wait. I got so much 58 coming from you, you're going to be blown away. Notice also ancient mystery religions have the gematria of 119, like All-Seeing Eye, like Riddler, you know, another one of the villains in the Batman series. In the first episode of the Batman TV show, the same one we're talking about, the Riddler is the first villain the Batman faces. Riddler also has that gematria 47, like the degrees on the Freemason compass. And real quick, there's one more point I want to make about 322 in light of staging propaganda to blame an enemy, to start a war, or take away liberties. Military-industrial complex, the term coined by the 34th President Eisenhower. He said if we didn't stop the military-industrial complex, it would grow to a for-profit war machine nobody could ever imagine. Think about this 322 number. George W. Bush, when he was president, we saw the bombing of Baghdad on March 22nd on TV. You know, like it was an entertainment spectacle. Wars between the Abrahamic religions, 322. So anyway, Riddler, again, has the gematria 47, like the degrees on the Freemason compass. All of this comes back to Freemasonry. In the 33rd episode, the one about Yale, which we just watched the clip from, Penguin equals 41, just like Skull and Bones. You know, what are the odds? Also, remember, Season 1, Episode 1, debuted January 12th, 66. We're going to get to this date. Here's the villain for that episode, Riddler. Just remember that date sequence, January 12th, 112. We'll talk about that number, what it has to do with Sandy Hook, and more. But now, here we are. We were talking about the old Batman TV show, now bringing it to the more present. The Dark Knight Rises film came out July 20th, 2012, the 43-year anniversary of the moon landing, which was a Hollywood hoax. Friday, December 14th, the date of the Sandy Hook shooting. And again, Sandy Hook on the Batman Dark Knight Rises map. From July 20th, the date of the Aurora Theater shooting and premiere of the movie, to December 14th, 147 days. Special number we talk about an awful lot. Freemason has gematria of 147, like conspiracy, like Here is Wisdom, which begins the verse about how to calculate 666, the number of the beast. Remember, Batman equals 666, and we have a riddle going here, you know, in numbers, calculating, that has a lot to do with 666. And Here is Wisdom, 147, how that verse begins. These two Batman-related shootings, 147 days apart. Revelation 13:18. One more time. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. The part about the calculating, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, you know, that section has the gematria of 223, just like Masonic, like Synagogue of Satan. Like the full title for John, Revelation is the vision of John, you know. In the film, I took this picture years ago. Technology's gotten better, but if you go watch the Batman film, here's the Aurora screen lit up, and there's a time, and it's blurry even when you watch the movie, but can't you see the 147 here? I mean, it's pretty clear, 147. It looks like there's a zero there. Think about it, 147 days from Aurora to Sandy Hook. Here was Wisdom, Batman 666. This is the map put out, Sandy Hook. This used to be South Hinckley. For the first time ever, Sandy Hook after The Dark Knight Rises. We're going to talk about how Donald Trump said, I am Batman. Okay, so consider this with the 147 as well. U.S. President equals 147, like President of the United States, like the Emperor. There's 147 windows at the White House. We'll talk about why it's windows. I have a video from when this news broke. I am Batman. Donald Trump says, I am Batman, and 3 Batman characters die. You can go back and watch my video. Just search Zachary K. Hubbard, Trump, Batman. Be the first video that pops up. I should go back and revisit all that information with the new knowledge, but just check this out. I am Batman, Trump tells boy on helicopter ride. Helicopter has gematria of 666, just like Batman. And remember, we just saw the helicopter crash on Trump's 88th day at the Brenton Bay Golf Course. Look at this. That date was April 17th, right? Number of the beast equals 174. 17/4 for April 17th. A helicopter crash is 666. Helicopter crash equals 88, like Trump, like Beast. It was Trump's 88th day in office. Beast 88, Trump 88. If I can remember how to spell the name of the golf course right, it's also 88. Oh, that's what it is. It's Bretton Bay Golf Course. Bretton without the N. Bretton Bay Golf Course 88. It was Trump's 88th day. Helicopter crash 88. Notice also the 223. We just talked about 223. Black Hawk Down equals 223. And this news out of Maryland came the day after headlines of the U.S. sending the most troops to Somalia since the film, or since the incident of Black Hawk Down, which was made into a film. Think about the narratives here. News and film and TV shows and overlap by the numbers. You know, the day after that news. And check this out. Somalia equals 47, like Trump, like Maryland, where it crashed. Also, we're talking about the number of the beast. Beast has the gematria of 47. Just like president, just like government, just like White House, just like authority, just like the 47 degrees on the Freemason compass, which represent the 47th problem of Euclid. The 47th problem of Euclid is about how to establish foundation using the pole star, which is also known as the North Star. So anyhow, the reflection of 47 is 74. Anytime the media emphasizes a phrase like that, like I am Batman, check the gematria. I am Batman equals 74, like Masonic, like Jewish, like occult, like George Washington, like window. Think about Washington, D.C., named after George Washington. 147 windows at the White House. That's why they did it with the windows. These people like their gematria. And they like seizing windows of opportunity. Never let a crisis go to waste. You know, that's all part of the divide and conquer, order out of chaos motto. Now, do you remember Trump's inauguration day, January 20th, 2017? The media made a big deal how he quoted Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. His speech mirrored what Bane said as he talked to the football stadium, you know, just before the explosion. So a few more 147s real quick. It was a president who had the space race dream, outer space 147, like spaceship. Kabbalah is exactly what we're talking about, this study of numbers and words and the Kabbalah tree of life, the 2 pillars which go back to Solomon's temple. Look up this word if you don't know what it means. Read about it. What we're discussing right now. So, Inauguration Day. It was the 58th presidential inauguration ever. Trump won the 58th presidential election. He announced his campaign from Trump Tower, which was 58 stories tall. And for Inauguration Day, they also hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray. We're going to bring it all together through 58. Inauguration Day, the 58th ever with the 58-year-old Steve Ray, it was also a date with 58 numerology. 58, special number. The Sandy Hook shooting was on a date with 58 numerology. Sandy Hook has gematria 58, like Say Their Names, which was the campaign put out after Sandy Hook. Say the names of the children killed. Think about how sick all this is. Think about how sick all of this is. One of two things happened at Sandy Hook. One is nobody was killed. An abandoned school was used to create a propaganda scene. Remember, after the shooting, the media even admitted that they used footage from a drill taking place at a different school. The footage they put out of the police at the school, it wasn't even Sandy Hook. It was a school 20 miles away that was undergoing a drill during winter break. The media admitted that after the fact. Think about that. They put out false footage of a drill. They even told you that. They said this footage isn't actually from the Newtown school. This was something related going on not far away. Also that day, they showed footage of Newtown, and they showed 3 men running out the back of the school into the woods. You know, they made it seem like a group of people had possibly killed the children. And then later they said it was 112-pound Adam Lanza. Look up the headlines. They said Adam Lanza weighed 112 pounds. Sandy Hook 112, 112, the alt dialing code for 911. So anyway, one of two things happened. Either nobody was killed and a drill was put on, or they really sent in like some military special operatives to murder children for this false flag propaganda for this agenda. So if you think children were really killed, understand it was your government who did it for the agenda. I think it's more likely, though, that nobody was killed and it's just all fictitious propaganda. Remember Dr. H. Wayne Carver, the very goofy man, that was laughing at the press conference talking about the child autopsies? Didn't make any sense the way he was acting. But check out this 58 number. We're going further with it. Highly related to Freemasonry, the Sandy Hook shooting. By the way, from Newtown, Connecticut to New Haven, just 25 miles. Skull and Bones is here. The shooting hoax is here. That's connected through Batman, which has an obvious connection to Skull and Bones, as we now know. Newtown has that gematria of 33 like false flag. 33rd episode of Batman talks about Yale and Skull and Bones, home of the Bonesmen. So now here's the shooter for the Aurora Theater, James Egan Holmes, 58. And you remember these headlines about Stephen Barton, the Aurora shooting survivor who lived in Newtown, Connecticut? Stephen Barton, 58. He was shot in a theater, Ford's Theater, 58, Willard Hotel, 58. This happened in the time of the Obama administration. Obama reopened Ford's Theater where Lincoln was killed. Lincoln was killed in Ford's Theater. He had an assassination attempt on February 23rd, 1861 at the Willard Hotel. You see? Freemasonry, 58. Secret Society, 58. Solomon's Temple, 58. Rosicrucian, 58. The people who mixed the Christianity with the old world esoteric religions. Rosicrucian means Rose Cross, 58. Again, the Masonic agenda, it's a Zionist Jewish agenda at the end of the day. Jerusalem, 58. Freemasons call themselves Craftsmen, 58. Read about Freemasonry, Solomon's Temple, Hiram Abiff. Read about Nimrod. Read about Tubal Cain. All characters from the Old Testament, the Jewish part of the Bible. Also, here we are in the United States. United States has gematria of 58 like power. United States also has gematria of 77 like Secret Society, also like Say Their Names. The motto put out after Sandy Hook. Power also has gematria of 77 like Judaism. Look at this overlap. Remember, the first Batman episode was January 12th. 112. Judaism 112, Zionist 112, Theater 112. Judaism and Zionist, also 77. Think about who's controlling Hollywood, the entertainment industry. Obama reopened Ford's Theater, which had been closed since 77. Here, just so you can really appreciate this. The theater was closed from 77 to 2009, 32 years later, when Obama reopened it. Obama, 32, like America. You see? Americas has the gematria of 33, discovered by C.C. Christopher Columbus, paid for by the Catholic Church C.C. Americas also has the gematria of 147. These are the Freemason conquered continents we live on. And now we're living out the Freemason agenda by the numbers on the daily. You know? Phrases like your number's up, secret societies identifying by numbers. I don't know why it's so hard for people to grasp that there's a numerical code that the masses don't know about. So anyhow, I hope I presented this clearly enough. If you go through my blog, I've talked about how a number of shootings have been connected to the Batman riddle. Remember the story about little Jacob? You know, that story was in Connecticut too. Little Jacob that was shot last year in, what was the name of that town? Here, we can just use my blog real quick. There's always so much I want to show you, Truth Seeker. Or hold on. Lil Jacob. I'm trying to think of what town he was shot in. Lil Jacob. Remember, Jacob became Israel in the Bible. Pendleton School District, Lil Jacob Tribute, 142. Again, Jacob becomes Israel in the Bible. Lil Jacob has the same gematria as Israel. This whole thing was just a coded tribute. I forgot about Batman's connection to New World Order. Absolutely a New World Order agenda. You know, here's Lil Jacob in his Batman clothes. They said for his funeral, everybody dressed in their favorite superhero. I got videos on Lil Jacob if you want to go back and check it out. I'll link all these posts down below too. That's what the name of the town was. Townville Elementary. Townville. Newtown, Townville, you know. Pendleton School District. Pendleton has the gematria 42 like Townville, which connects to the Freemasons, you know, and their compass. So anyway, when I first began this research, back when I was pretty ripe at this, let's see what day I posted this. Well, this happened before I posted it. There was a shooting in Sparks, Arizona, and they said that the teacher who was killed in this shooting, you can look it up, they said he dressed up as Batman often as the teacher. And he had a Facebook memorial page, and when I went to the Facebook memorial page, this is what they had at the top of the page. And I left this comment, Batman, a movie connected to a movie theater shooting and a school shooting. What day is this from? This is from, oh, you can't tell because it says 23 hours ago. If you go back and look at when the Sparks shooting happened, I went and posted this on their page long ago. Right away, this woman came out and started attacking me. But anyway, I just knew something was up with the whole Batman thing long ago. Well, here we are now, April 26, 2017, really putting it together. The phrase was, rest easy, Mr. Lansbury. Check out that name, Mr. Lansbury. You know, it sounds like burying someone. Mr. Lansbury, 149, just like Skull and Bones. And now that we know about the whole Batman Skull and Bones thing, remember George Herbert Walker Bush, the 41st president? If you write out 41, it sums to 118, just like George Herbert Walker Bush equals 118. So anyway, there's just been so much Batman stuff with the shootings, and this is what it all is. And Donald Trump saying, I am Batman, and the Batman people dropping dead the next day. Look, this whole thing going on in New York right now, Operation Gotham Shield. Look at what Gotham Shield equals, 58, just like Jade Helm. All of these drills are prepping for their future planned narrative when they knock out the entire power grid at once or whatever they're going to do. They got a bigger false flag planned for us than 9/11 to further their agenda, and this is all going to be done because we haven't stopped the tyrants who are ruling over us, who are mocking us, and have been for decades. You know? I can't believe that the whole time I've been on this Batman, search for the answer, I overlooked this 33rd episode. All this time in the 33rd episode, the reference to Skull and Bones. Isn't it amazing? So I hope I presented that clearly enough. You know, this is information that's got to get out. We were just talking about making gematria memes. I mean, you could make one so good for the Aurora and Colorado theater shootings based on what you know here. A lot of different ways to present all that was presented in this. And I'll link everything down below. The videos, the blog posts, it'll all be there. And I'll find that Donald Trump I Am Batman video. Everybody has to know about that. Until next time, True Sig.